ShartimusPrime, reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit, subscribe,
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Legends action figure review on the Marvel Legends Avengers video game GamerVerse Abomination Build-A-Figure. Try to get your Marvel Legends, you can do so at Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. And while you're down there, why don't you give a little tickle to the like button and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And a big thanks to X-Man87 for making it possible for me to review this wave for you guys. He found another set for me out there on the East Coast along with Justine. And thank you guys so much for looking out for me and making sure I can get these reviews up. Check him out. Link in the description below, X-Man87. And what do you think of my BAF art right over here, huh? Not looking too bad, right? I try to get a little creative with it. Anyway, the head sculpt came with the Mach 1 figure, the torso pieces came with Ms. Marvel, the left arm came with Marvel, the right arm came with Rage, the left leg came with Iron Man, and the right leg came with the leader figure. Alright, let's get to it and get this thing built. So can you take us away, Bumblebee? Alright, so yeah, it was kind of fun making this BAF art, and if you want to post your BAF art, hashtag BAF art. Anyway, you can see the talons or raptor claws right over there next to the face, and we're just going to go ahead and put this together. I do like that we get to see the innards right over here. That's actually kind of neat, you know, seeing the engineering going on the inside with these butterfly joints and all that, so I like that, but you're just going to want to go ahead and piece this together correctly, and I gotta say, compared to the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure, this ports together a lot better than that figure. Anyway, we have the left leg right here. Raptor claw goes on the inside, and then grabbing this other leg right here, this raptor claw is going to go on that, or raptor claw leg going on the inside right there. And then we get a left arm porting, right there, and then a right arm porting right there. Now I'll form the head. And now we have Abomination all built and looking pretty badass, I must say. There's a lot of cool things going on right here that I really like with this figure. My gripes are mostly, again, with this video game, the design, but hey, there's mostly really cool stuff going on here, so I'm pretty stoked about that. So let's just get a closer look at this guy. Now, out of all the designs I've seen of the characters for this Avengers video game, this Abomination design is actually one of my favorite. I gotta say I dig this, however, it still kind of has a vibe that this was designed by a couple of tech nerds that just discovered weed at the ripe age of 32.
Dude, orcs, spikes, raptor claw. Oh, raptor claw!
Hey, and happy Super 420, by the way. I really couldn't find many images to compare this figure with, but, you know, from the one image I do have right over here, it does seem to be right on target as far as the modeling goes, and the design really does remind me of the MCU Abomination, right? And that doesn't really bother me at all. But anyway, I do like this head sculpt, man. It looks really awesome. I gotta say, the paint apps and sculpting throughout on this thing are incredible. Now, there are little parts right over here where that bone-colored teeth paint doesn't really match every single tooth, but it doesn't look too bad when you look at it from a bit farther away. It doesn't stand out anyway, but it's there, but it mostly looks pretty clean, I gotta say. I love that we're getting this fade going on right here. I love the texturing of all the scales. The eyes look really good. It's really fun taking photos of this in low light. Those eyes really stand out. This left ear is kind of flopping outward on me as opposed to the right ear. I mean, it's just a little subtle thing, but you can see those bony colored spikes just look amazing. That is just really cool. I mean, whether the game is a flop or not, I gotta say, this figure is pretty incredible, man. Look at that. And they're all very soft, rubbery spikes, too, so you don't have to worry about them stabbing you or anything like that. I love how we're getting a dark color green right here over the lighter green, or it's more of like a brownish green color right there. That's really cool. And I'm missing some paint right here in the butterfly joints, but coming back to the front, I think that looks great. Great sculpt. I'm definitely keeping this on my MCU shelf. This will be my stand-in MCU Abomination figure for sure. This is pretty awesome. Damn, Yeah, and they didn't paint the bone color spikes right over there, but not too bad. And then you can see right over here, the paint, this part bothers me. I kind of wish that they were a little bit more consistent with this, because this highlight seems to start to run down the center, but it kind of switches off to the side right over here on this part of the arm. So it's like if you want it to really be consistent looking, you have to twist the arm around that way, and it just looks weird. So no matter what, you know, whoever's posing it, it's going to look a little off. You know what I'm saying? Especially like when you go like that. It's like, huh? What? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, looking at the left hand, you can see he's got these long fingernails. Wish they used that bone claw color for the fingernails, but still looks pretty good. I like how the inside of the hand looks right there. You can see this right side has more of a gripping gesture right there. And then you can see right there, we get the shorts. Oh, I want to get a closer look at the back. You could tilt this forward. You can see all those scales. Man, the sculpting is very impressive. You could lean this back and see the paint goes all the way through. Happy with that. Pants look pretty good. I like that. A little bit of texturing in there. And then you get some tatteredness going on in the sculpt. More lumps and everything. Very cool. I don't think this has any reused parts from any other figure. So the fact that we're getting a whole original sculpt over here is pretty impressive. Again, I would have liked to see some paint on the toenails. And you can see that silly looking raptor claw, which I don't know. I just think is just kind of funny. But anyway, no articulation with that or anything. And you can see that we do get peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And here's looking at the back of the legs, and then we get our Abomination butt. So the articulation on this figure is pretty amazing, man. You can get the head to look up very far. You do have a dumbbell joint right in there, and I'll do some head swaps later, so you'll see that joint. You can move the head downward, a little bit of gappage right there, but it doesn't really bother me. And you can turn the head side to side, and you do get good head pivoting right here as well. And we get these awesome butterfly joints. There's a little bit of chewing going on the left side for me right here. You can kind of see it happening. Just be wary. If you turn it back like that, it'll go farther back. But yeah, you can move it forward this much, so you can see both shoulder joints moving forward and back that far. I really wish we had this on the 80 Years Hulk. And then the shoulder joint will move outward only that far due to this sculpting right over here, which is probably where more of the chewing is coming from that happening than anything else. You get a full rotation right there, bicep swivel, and then you also get a elbow swivel right there and a single joint that moves inward that far. I don't mind having both the bicep and elbow swivel. I can understand how some people could be irritated with that, but I like having that articulation. The wrists turn side to side and both hinge up and down. You get a ball joint right over here at the diaphragm that can turn side to side. Great diaphragm pivot, moves forward that much and back that far. Hips move outward very far as well. That's great. And you can get them kicking forward that much and back only a tiny bit, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and then you do get this calf rotation right there. Ankles move down, they do move up, and he has beautiful ankle pivot. Now to measure out this Abomination Build-A-Figure, you can see that he is standing just at around the 9-inch mark. Very tall figure. And for a Marvel Legends Abomination figure comparison, we have our new Build-A-Figure next to the Toy Biz comic Abomination, and then we have the Hasbro STCC exclusive comic Abomination right over there. And seeing head swaps between these two is something I've been very curious about. I cannot get the head removed from this figure very easily, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop that off, pop that on, and hey, that does not look so bad. It sits a little high right there with that dumbbell joint, but if you shift that downward, that could look pretty cool. And from the side, it looks awful. You can see how it's a dumbbell joint. And then to see how this head sculpt would look, this is from the other Abomination that utilizes the same body mold as this one right here, because I feel like the paint apps may be, that's kind of looking, it's like both of these are almost there. But I guess if you really wanted to make that work, that could be your new comic book Abomination figure. That does not look bad. So I could see how people would want that going on in their collection. It doesn't look bad at all. Doesn't look great. It's just not fitting perfectly. I'm still going to have this guy set up as my MCU Abomination. If you just wanted to see how this looked right here, I just want to show this off and that, oh god. And then to compare this Abomination next to a couple of Hulks, we have our Avengers Endgame Build-A-Figure Hulk, and then we have our 80 Years comic version Hulk. And I think the size differences actually with both of these Hulks compared to this Abomination looks pretty good. We are going to get a GamerVerse Outback Hulk using this body mold right over here, and based off of the image that I saw of the Hulk and the Abomination from the game, this looks like it will scale out pretty well. And I actually like the scaling over here with the comic version Hulk and the Abomination too. And then here's the GamerVerse Abomination Build-A-Figure next to all of the other figures from this wave. We have the GamerVerse Cap, GamerVerse Iron Man, GamerVerse Ms. Marvel, Leader, Marvel, Rage, and Mach 1. And what an emotional roller coaster it has been with this wave. Oh geez, I originally kind of hated it and then I grew to really like it. But anyway, let's get to the ranking. Starting over at the very bottom of this list, and you guys could see where it's gonna go. It's the Ms. Marvel right over here. Guess this figure's in the wave just so that she can come with the big Build-A-Figure pieces, I guess. But they gave her new boots, and someone had mentioned in the comment section, hey, they could have used that opportunity to give her leg extensions. That would have been really neat for the stretchy legs. So, that made me dislike the figure even more. At the number 7 spot, I'm giving it to the Iron Man figure. I hate the sewing button arc reactor. I have QC issues. Hate the pencil neck. Just an overall not too an exciting figure for me. And then at number 6, I'm giving it to Captain America, which I actually grew to like the more I played with it. However, I still do not like this design choice. At the number 5 spot, I am giving it to Leader. I just did not feel a huge need to have a new Leader figure in my collection. But I gotta tell you guys, the gap between the Leader figure and this Captain America is huge. Like, the Captain America is like way down there and Leader's like way up here. You know? I mean, seriously, from here on over, it's just a whole other plateau compared to these three over here. So yeah, number 5 spot is Leader. Number 4 spot, I'm giving it to Mach 1. Love the Mach 1, just really wish we had interchangeable hands. And then at the number 3 spot, I'm giving it to Rage. It's just missing the deco on the back of his vest. And then at the number 2 spot, I'm giving it to Marvel, who was actually at the number 1 spot for the longest time. And I know this is a re-release of a character that I already have in my collection, and I know it's a reused body mold that we've seen many times, but I just had a blast with that figure. I absolutely love it. I had a great time with it. But at the number 1 spot, I am giving it to the Abomination figure. I just had to, man. It's just an amazing figure. Yeah, I like the character Marvel more so than Abomination, but dude, just the aesthetics over here, the posability and everything about it, it's freaking awesome. I just can't deny a cool looking figure, and the fact that I'm okay with having him as my MCU Abomination, now I have a cool place for him even if the video game sucks. So yeah, I'm stoked about that. One thing I did not mention in my Leader review is that you can pop the arms off. They did use that upper torso from the Reed Richards, so it's not really too difficult to go ahead and just pop off the head and the arms and then wiggle the harness off over here, these back on, and now you can have a Leader without that harness going on right there. And that's actually kind of another neat look for the character, or for the figure anyway. So yeah, I like that, you know, but as much as I like that, I do prefer having the harness on there. Then here's Abomination. Next to your average 6-inch scale figure, we have the Marvel Legends Big Time Badass Spider-Man. Oh god, I really got this itch in my back. Hey, you got long nails. Do you think you can help me out over here? Ooh, raptor claw. Oh, why the... So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And a big thank you to all these people over here that support this YouTube channel and help keep these videos coming your way. If you're interested in supporting, I did just post a giveaway announcement yesterday for a Masterpiece Bumblebee, so check that out. And I gotta say, this figure is awesome. I really like it a lot. You know, I've been dogging this video game so far, but with this figure right here and the execution from Hasbro, dude, it's just amazing. My biggest gripe is a bit of the chewing on the left shoulder, but that could have just been from one mistake while posing it around. I just love the articulation. I love the sculpt and paint apps. I mean, what else can I ask for from a figure aside from having a design that I would prefer? And that's the only flaw with this figure, but I can't really dock it that much because I do like the design. It's familiar to me enough to where I like it. So hey man, I'm giving this a Sun rating of I love it. And I'd like to know what you guys think, because I really felt one way about it before I got to playing with the figure, and then I felt a completely different way after posing the figure around and having some good times with it. So I am honestly very curious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see the latest in Marvel news, you can find it all over at marvelousnews.com, and don't forget to follow me on the Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
More great paint, more great paint. Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.